Welcome everyone to the analysis of the 8-bit gliders pipe. Thank you all for joining me. If you do appreciate the data-driven approach that we do here on the channel, throw your support behind it by leaving a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. We do a lot of wonderful things, very inclusive, and we look at all the different player styles out there and present the information as such and allow for you to draw your own conclusions and how you proceed forward with your own game. This pipe is loaded with some of the best gliders that exist in the game, and we'll be taking a slightly different approach in how we're assessing the value of this. I'm going to take a look at it more from a practical side through an adaptation of analysis that was provided to the channel courtesy of a turtle dude. So thank you very much. He's a great player and a wonderful collaborator here on the channel. This pipe has the 8-bit star, the 8-bit fireflower, the 8-bit bullet bill, the newly minted 8-bit super mushroom, as well as brand new to this tour and a spotlight in this pipe, the record setter, which has a unique animation. Out of all of the high-end contents in this pipe, the only one that was previously available in any pipe has been the 8-bit star. It has been a standard high-end pull for quite a long time. In fact, in my birthday tour last year, I had pulled the 8-bit star in one of my free pipes. It was really exciting, and for all of the standard high-ends, the 8-bit star is one of the better standard ones that you can get. As we will see momentarily, its coverage is quite good. But when comparing it to the other three more exclusive and existing high-end gliders, all of which were introduced into paid bundles in the past, and now it's their first chance to be obtained in a pipe, they all have extraordinary value. In the graph provided in the space on the right, it shows the bars of the entire value of these items, and it's broken down into different categories. So part of that is the assumed value coverage, and what the assumed value means is it represents all of the retro courses that are readily available in each and every tour. It doesn't mean that the entire collection of retro tracks are available in every tour, since each tour is limited to 12 cups. However, these tracks are regularly recycled into the selection, meaning that any one of them is never too far away, as is the case with original retro tracks that the game launched with, such as Yoshi Circuit, Rock Mountain, Waluigi Pinball. These do often see longer gaps between appearances. However, their appearance rate is still significantly greater than that of the Nitro courses. The Nitro courses represent the original tracks to Mario Kart Tour, which are the city tracks such as Berlin, Los Angeles, New York, Tokyo, London, Paris, Sydney, etc. Singapore as well, in addition to the original courses Ninja Hideaway and Merry Mountain. Now, there is distinguished difference between the Nitro courses in that Merry Mountain and Ninja Hideaway are slightly more accessible than city tracks, which are not reintroduced regularly, and some of them have only been exposed once, such is the case for New York Minute variants. When looking at items that are particularly useful and beneficial to invest into, really want to see a large number of assumed value courses, because that's how you know that your investment will see repeat usage over time, and that will increase the return value that you're making on the investment of these things. And as we can see, every single glider in this pipe has extraordinary assumed value. There is not one that has poor assumed value. In the way of Nitro value, it is a little bit slim among these gliders, with the exception being of the 8-bit Fireflower, which its entire coverage overall is enormous. However, its assumed coverage is at the top of the mark, right on par with the others. And on the flip side of the token, we have the newly introduced 8-bit Super Mushroom, which is the youngest of this generation of 8-bit items, with the exception, of course, being of the record setter, which is just debuting in this tour. And this one, of its 23 overall courses, 22 of them, I repeat, 22 of them are assumed value. And there's even more good news, because In the slightly different shade, I have the unique tracks among the assumed tracks that each of these gliders has relative to all the others. And we can see that the overlap is minimal, and what this means is that these gliders are significant powerhouses to your complete coverage of the entire library of tracks that are available in Mario Kart Tour. The 8-bit gliders are among the best. It would almost be impossible to cherry pick a better selection of gliders to have complete coverage given this size pool of gliders. The 8-bit Star has 15 unique tracks. The 8-bit Fireflower has 14 unique tracks. The 8-bit Bullet Bill has 18 unique tracks. And the 8-bit Super Mushroom has 17 of those 22 assumed courses are unique to its coverage, with consideration given to all the others. So clearly all of them have a significant percentage of unique courses, and that's especially true for the Super Mushroom and the Bullet Bill. Both are at and above 75% unique coverage, which is quite extraordinary for 4 items of any selection. These gliders pair extraordinarily well with other similar extensive course coverage gliders, those being the Dragon Wings, which is among some of the earliest items that were introduced in the game. That was an item from year 1, which had extraordinary value. It was ranked the #1 glider for several months after its release, and it took quite a long time to be dethroned from that position. And while those tracks do represent an older generation of courses that are once again the ones that aren't repeated tour in and tour out, these are still ones that will come back regularly. So it's a part of the complete picture. In addition to that, there's the Strawberry Donut, which is another one of those spreadsheet warriors that just covers so many different maps. In addition to the Ship's Wheel, which is again relatively newer, that was a part of the Ocean Gliders pipe among Spotlight 50 pipe items. The best combination of any 2 gliders that currently exist in the game in terms of providing an account with the most amount of course coverage overall would be the 8-bit Fireflower in combination with the Dragon Wings, which represent 46 of the 186 assumed value courses that currently exist in Mario Kart Tour. Right after those 2 are 2 combinations of gliders that exist just within this pipe alone. The Super Mushroom and Bullet Bill gliders cover 45 of the 186 courses currently in Mario Kart Tour, and the Super Mushroom and the Fireflower glider cover 44 of those 186 courses. And collectively, the 4 8-bit gliders that exist, not including the record setter, represent coverage on 77 of the 186 assumed value courses. The best combination of 4 gliders that you can put together in terms of coverage, representing 84 of those 186 courses, includes the 8-bit Bullet Bill, the 8-bit Super Mushroom, the Dragon Wings, and the Starry Great Sail. Now each of these has good coverage composition so that you can mix and match, since some of these gliders may not be ones that you possess. The Dragon Wings has been available in multiple pipes, but only at select times, whereas the Strawberry Donut and the Starry Great Sail are standard high-end, so you can pull them in your all-clear pipe, which we will do at the end of today's program. Meaning that no matter which set of gliders you are going to be pairing your 8-bit gliders with, chances are exceedingly good that you can put together a very formidable coverage plan for your own account. So naturally, we have very good news for the standard high-end selection in this pipe, but a lot of folks out there might be wondering, what are the expectations going to be for the record setter? Well, there is a range of possibilities that can exist, although 50 Spotlight items and also 50 pipe debut items in general exhibit a certain trend and pattern, so that while no 2 accrue value exactly the same way, they all more or less follow a similar pathway forward to obtaining value. In the chart to the right, I've put together a selection of quite a few of those items so that you can see more or less the trajectory that you can expect the record setter to take. Now keep in mind, folks, a lot of this is contingent on just what the upcoming tours have in terms of tracks being offered. As we know, these special pipe items that debut there receive the paywall buffing favor earlier in their lifespan as opposed to later in their lifespan. So you can expect to find an immediate return on your account. By pulling the record setter, it will be a force for you in the next 2 months. That much is assured. How its long-term value composition will look with respect to the other ones is entirely dependent upon the upcoming tours. And that is to say, like, how many of these tracks will be assumed value tracks and how many of them will be nitro based. All of that still needs to be written. Do keep in mind that when I say an item of this kind will receive the paywall buffing favor, these are the brand new tracks being brought to the game and exposed to ranked mode. So they are among the ones that have the most limited favorite course top shelf selection for your loadouts, meaning that it's statistically the least probable for you to have an item for those courses, and its coverage will provide that for your account. However, if you have been collecting a lot of these rare gliders, many times these often end up overlapping each other, and that's where the investment that you want to make, it's better to apply a patient approach. That doesn't mean that this glider will not be of any value to you. The attractiveness of this glider will be reduced, directly correlated to the amount of these gliders that you possess, because it just makes it all the less likely that this glider will be of significant importance to your account as opposed to one of the other ones. And in that case, you want to see how the value is fleshed out before making a significant investment, before you make the down payment, right? Which is in the form of the tickets that you spend. Taking a look at the pipe, we're going to go through the odds. We're going to swing it over to the calculator in just a moment, but I do want to touch on one more thing that is included in this pipe. As we can see, the record setter is the only spotlight item that's available. All of its track value at the moment is assumed, and we know that the second greatest edition of course coverage that it will receive is going to be in its second tour, in the subsequent tour, for which we don't currently have a preview at the moment. So those folks who really want to make sure you have all of the information at your disposal may want to wait till Thursday. On certain occasions, the dev team, the marketing team over at Mario Kart Tour has released a teaser image on Thursday. The teasers used to come out on Friday, but now the trailers come out on Friday, and I find it in incredibly good faith that they would release a teaser on Thursday while that special pipe is still active, just to provide players who want that an extra sliver of information to better inform their decision and feel better about the investment that they're making in the game. I think it's really wonderful all the way around when they do that. So hopefully that's a trend that continues. Certainly if they don't come out with that teaser image, then you can just take a shot in the dark or not. Certainly in those situations, I personally never took a shot in the dark when they didn't provide the information. I made that as the standard by which I would inform my own gameplay, even at the minor little detriment to my own account. Look, as is the case with all of these items, that yes, for the moment, they are powerhouses, each and every one of them in their own right. But none of these items are ones that you can live without. And that is a big point that I will be going into significant detail on when discussing the odds for these things. But before we get to the odds, I do want to just point out how the 8-bit jumping Mario and 8-bit jumping Luigi, the Luigi one is completely paywalled. I think it was a gold pass gift, if I'm not mistaken. Could have been a commemorative item. So somebody in the comments can differentiate between the two. But this is the first time, if you're free to play, that you can access that item. It's a super. The value is middle of the road. Certainly, you know, it's not going to be a powerhouse for your account, but it may help your coverage in some small way. Now, as for the odds of this pipe, there's only 6% on this pipe. Okay, we have 3 high ends out of 50 pipes. I know a lot of folks out there were hoping that it would be an 8% pipe with 3 selections from the standard high-end selection. And what this means is I will give my conclusion before I even go into the odds on this, is that this is a pipe, folks, that you really want to just put your budget at 225 rubies. If you want to put the budget to 370 or 315, contingent on your first pipe being gold. So if you go into the pipe and you get a gold pipe with 1 or 2 high ends, then by all means reset, and then still try to keep in mind that your budget, you want to hit that 225 mark. But if they bottom load the second pipe after the reset, that's your get out point, would be that 275 number. And again, if you happen to go 2 pipes in the first time where you hit the high ends, in that case, you want to hit at least 2 high ends with your second pipe if you're 90 rubies in, because then just 1 high end into 20 pipes isn't beating the odds. Now, the other reason for that is because this is not a pipe where you want to specifically target one item. Before I'm even coming on and doing this recording, one of my friends and collaborators, Bolt, went into this pipe without a concrete plan and ended up in a difficult situation. So this will be a warning to the wise. Hopefully, you folks out there, look, I always come out with this content as quickly as possible with the whole production, and there's several days still to pull on these pipes, and I do hope that this information you can use as best to inform the way that you want to use your resources, so that way you can be entirely happy with the outcome of this pipe. And if we swing it over to the calculator now, let's see what happens when we go in and there's only 2 high ends from the standard pool and we're specifically going for 1 glider, right? So in this case, we are going to do 1 minus, and 3 of the 4 gliders that we wouldn't be targeting. So let's say, like as was the case for Bolt, he was really keen to get the 8-bit Super Mushroom. That's the one that provided the most number of unique courses for his specific inventory. So in this case, he wouldn't have been particularly thrilled to get the Bolt Bill Fireflower or the Star Glider, although those do still help his account, not nearly to the extent of the Super Mushroom Glider. So for this situation, but keep in mind, the math for this is identical to as if the Bolt Bill or the Fireflower had been that glider for your account. So it's not a different calculation as long as the parameters of searching specifically 1 high end are the same. So we do 3 divided by 4. And then in this case, we're only going to square the exponent, right? Since there are only 2 high ends, so that's how many trials that we can expect to find in this pipe. And my usual disclaimer is that this is the worst case scenario, right? As I already described, when you are front loaded with high ends, you can reset the pipe and you can beat the odds, beat the value on this, but I always plan for the worst case scenario. So the odds that you are about to see through proper probability management can be better than this. This is your absolute worst chance to obtain these, provided that you have the 225 rubies needed to drain this pipe. If you are below 225 rubies, then there's a chance that you can miss out on them entirely, which is a very precarious situation. I would strongly recommend not pulling on any pipe that you can't sufficiently drain with your rubies. So, taking a look at the odds for this, we can see it's only 43.75% to obtain one of these specific 4 items from the standard high-end selection, which is those 2 gliders that we would be seeing in 1 drain of the pipe, which is, it's really extraordinary. Out of all the times I've come on and calculated this, a lot of times it's in, it's like in the high 50%, and that's when they would have 3 high ends in the selection. So only having 2 high ends makes this an extraordinarily risky situation that you could be getting yourself into. It could require 2, 3, 4 drains, and just to prove that, I will show you the math here. So let's clear the calculation and put it in again. We would do 3 divided by 4, and this time we would set the exponent to 4. Now what this represents is you had to go to the bottom of the pipe or to whatever point of the pipe where you found those high-end gliders, and then you reset. It restores the item's contents of the pipe and you go in again. So at a maximum, this would be 225 plus 225 rubies, 450 rubies total potential on this. And as we can see, there's only a 68.35% chance to get one specific item in 2 drains of the pipe. That's approximately 2-to-1 odds on 450 rubies. Very scary situation. If I've ever used the term bottomless pit, it is never applied more than for this pipe. And this is the danger that Nintendo does. They dangle these items. Let's swing it back to the app. They dangle these items. They're all extremely attractive, very good looking, among the best in the game. There's really no misses. Certainly the 8-bit star you can get as a standard high-end, just as I did for my account. Many folks out there have had the opportunity to get that through your daily pipe pulls, through the all clear pipes and whatnot. But that's among the standard gliders, that's still a very good one to have. And the other ones are exceedingly good, exceedingly rare. And what they do then is, since it's essentially a can't miss pipe, the odds are that much more difficult. So what would my recommendation be for this pipe for you folks out there? It would be just drain it once. You know, it's that 225 rubies contingent for 270 or 315 if your luck cooperates in that specific manner. So this is all planned out before you go into the pipe. This is the ultimate way to achieve happiness and the correct return on your investment for the rubies that you're spending. Nothing is a surprise, and then everything is a joy and fun. And you can project that forward specifically in a strategic sense and an analytical sense for what you are gaining with what you are spending. So I do hope that you all pull on this pipe responsibly. Make sure you set a limit, and I wish you all the best of luck. I hope that you get the ones that you need to fill in your specific coverage. All right, with all that out of the way, so now let's take a brief look at my progress on Rock Mountain T. I've been doing runs for this. I've spent so many hours grinding it. And I haven't been able to come up with the run yet. A lot of fails, a lot of bad luck for sure. Once you have your lines mastered, it's just a matter of realizing the potential that's there, right? Getting those item boxes to spin in the right way. And I've had some not so great moments with that. And I figured I'd just have a little lighthearted moment here to share that. And let's just speed ahead to the point in the clip where I had a good run going, right? I had a coin frenzy to start the race, and then unfortunately I picked up a banana frenzy in the tunnel right here. So we can see Funky Kong's dropping them behind now. I will get a few hits on the ramp there, which is good because it's nice and narrow, but most of these are in the glider section. Right there, the final banana was accidentally flung forward without my realizing it. And it was at a point where I couldn't even see. It was on the zipper for the second glide, and I spun, managed to keep the combo, but I lost all of the gliding actions for that part of the track, which was quite unfortunate. Not only getting the banana frenzy in the least optimal place in terms of hits, since if you get a banana frenzy right at that first item block, especially in lap 1, the hits can be extraordinary. It can really rival a coin frenzy with proper placement. In this case, here I get the second coin frenzy now, and look, it was a good run, but I'm not, this is not the ideal run that I wanted to get. In terms of the action count, it's one less than the previous best Rock Mountain I posted to the channel, and I am still looking for the frenzy luck to cooperate finally. I mean, if we put together all the hours I've grinded Rock Mountain T, not just this tour, but during last summer, we're definitely owed a little bit of luck on this one, that's for sure. But there you see the 56.9K. That's the new high score on my account. Hopefully we'll be adding to that. If not, I might not go too crazy with this. We'll see what the ranked group looks like for week 2. But anyway, we have Mega Birdo. Is that a sign of anything? Maybe the driver of 2022 is soon upon us. Anyway, usually Birdo is themed with Yoshi, and that's around late March and early April. So for this one, I'll give Green Shy Guy a go. That's who I would go with in multiplayer, and this is Yoshi Circuit. So I'd go with the Egg 1 card. I'll just do the loadouts like I would do it normally for multiplayer, and then I would go with the Mushroom Glider here. So let's put it on 150cc. So naturally, all you let me know how you do on your pipe pulls. If you're going in on the 8-bit pipe, certainly I'm sure many of you took a look at the odds on that and thought twice, and rightfully so. Really, I do hope that you know, if these items are not the be-all end-all for you, which they're honestly not, then you know, you might think twice. And if you're in a situation where your rubies count isn't totally secure and you have things on the horizon that you may be looking forward to pulling for, just do the responsible thing and pass on this. Look, you know, nothing is going for good. And I mean, even if these gliders don't come back in the near future, there will be other items that accrue just as much value, if not more value than these, for which you can really power your account from moving forward there. So this is an aggressive Birdo here. Lost my train of thought. All right, lap 2, I'm gonna back spam those. Well, they're not taking the really close line. Wow, so Birdo shoots. Okay. Wow, I've been hit so many times. This is amazing. This is gonna be a close one. But I mean, as is the case with these mega bosses, they do incredible rubber banding. So there, get hit again. But when they get out in front of you, look at the terrible line that just took. Folks, oh my goodness, this is what I'm always talking about on the mega bosses. It really just comes down to the final item box. I thought I had built up enough of a defense. I had triple defense, and that's why I paused so many times, because it's shooting green shells out, which is like really genius strategically. That is the value of triple green shells in multiplayer. If you're ever in a situation, actually, the green shells are kind of better than the red shells, because you can find the correct angle, and through precision you can make hits along the side of the carts, especially when they're on drift, because they're exposing their flank, and you can really get some great gains strategically with just a little skill and practice that way. Anyway, folks, that was my multiplayer strategy segment of things, and here we are. All cups cleared. Congrats, Mario Aviator, looking good there with the pilot wing. So we see the Kongs here, as always. A lot of time with Funky Kong spent there with the Rambi Runner. There's Pink Gold Peach in the Zucchini. I know a lot of folks, some people even commented on that discussion that I put out in the detailed look, how if you have a lower level cart with a larger hitbox and a high level coin boxer, that will be ideal over a higher level cart, provided the difference is within like 1 or 2 levels. You know, once the gap of levels becomes greater, you know, 3, 4 levels certainly is hard to overcome through action count alone. But I just want to add context to that discussion that I gave in the comment to which I replied to that member, in that that's a consideration you want to make based on the levels of your driver and glider as well, because what's happening is when you have the larger size cart, you are getting a greater action count, scooping up more of those coins, and that's bonus points boost for your entire loadout. So that's going to be primarily driven by the driver, actually. So if you have a level 7 coin box driver, then that's a much stronger consideration than if it's like a level 3 coin boxer, in which case you just want to go with your higher level stuff, you know, because those extra dozen actions that you may be picking up won't be able to overcome the difference in the cart's level, given that the bonus points for each one, the bonus points boost that is, won't be significantly more than it would be like, you know, for the level 7 high end, which would just be like extraordinary. So hopefully that provides you all with the proper context in thinking. It's always like, look, nothing in Mario Kart Tour is black and white. Most of it is a complete truckload of gray, and that's where the community leans on each other for these discussions. So I hope you all find that beneficial. Anyway, can we get some luck in this pipe? I don't even want to think about what I got last tour. That was not a good memory. Envisioning greater right now. Polling. We have another driver. Okay, hey, Bowser Jr. Pirate. You have no idea how many times I wanted to pull on his pipes. The cutest character besides Diddy Kong, out of the non-Kongs, this is a great looking alt. It was a favorite of Sergeant Spike, longtime contributor to the Mario Kart Tour community. He's not currently active at the moment, but obviously he was a very strong proponent of character representation, exceptional artistic talent. You can see that. Go check out his channel. Yeah, that's a nice pull. And you know, certainly they didn't give this character enough love and respect that it deserves. Didn't fall in line with the Bob-omb canon value that we've come to really expect, in addition to appreciate. Thinking of things along the lines of Warrior, Waluigi Vampire, Birdo Black, Peach Explorer, those were the ones that had the proper favor given to them. Lower quality special skill, proper game balance would dictate that those get a larger number of course coverage. Wasn't the case for Bowser Pirate Jr. there, but hands down one of the best looking alts. So that's very nice to add to the collection. I'll have fun racing with him alongside Diddy Kong, like many of the concepts that Sergeant Spike shared with the community. So there we have it, folks. Let's just collect the coins, and then we'll tie things up. So yes, I do hope everyone has all the luck in the world, whether you're using your rubies to pull on the week 1 pipe, the special pipe. Maybe you're thinking about saving your rubies and looking ahead to week 2, 12% high-end pipe. The items aren't particularly rare, given that the best ones have been in repeat pipes as of late. A couple of new carts, not projecting huge value based on their initial release. I will likely go into more detail on that in week 2, if not in a video. You can check out my community tab as always. Thank you for the support, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care, everybody. Be well.